So here we have Miriam has $24.50 less than Anna. Together they have $50. How much do they each have? Again, if you're stuck for your let statement, look for the last sentence. How much do they each have? This one isn't as helpful as some of the other ones have been. It's not obvious what our let statement should be. Like you couldn't say, well, let H be what they each have. So that's not specific enough. We have two people here. We want our let statement to talk about something that'll be one specific number. Here I could say let M be how much Miriam has money-wise, or let A be how much money Anna has money-wise. Here I would tell you that I would choose to make it that Miriam is my let statement. Because usually whoever has a smaller amount is that it makes your life a little bit easier if you pick them as the let statement. Because then if I say, well, Miriam's got an amount of money and Anna's got $24.50 more than her, then I'll be adding $24.50 instead of doing like Anna minus $24.50. One less subtraction, one less negative for me to trip over if I have a little trouble with negatives. So let statement here, I'm going to say let M be amount Miriam has. Notice I'm not saying just let M be Miriam, because that could be a little too vague for me. Let M be the amount of money Miriam has. Next, hardest part here, coming up with the other expressions. What else do I not know about? I know how much they have together. I don't know how much Anna has. And I can say to myself, okay, let's say I knew how much Miriam had. Let's say Miriam, well, here, let me write the answer first. The answer is going to be $24.50 plus M is going to give me how much Anna has. Okay, and let me show you why this is right. You say to yourself, if I'm stuck at this step, because it's the easiest step to get stuck on, it's where all the hard thinking has to happen, you say to yourself, let me pretend I know how much money Miriam has. Miriam has $24.50 less than Anna. So let's say Miriam had $10. If Miriam had $10 and I said Miriam has $24.50 less than Anna, all of you guys would be able to tell me how much money Anna has. She's got $34.50. You would just tell me that quickly without having to think about it too much. And then you'd say to yourself, well, what did I do with 10 to get to $34.50? Because it's not the numbers that really matter. They're just guiding me along the way. You say, well, what I did was I added the $24.50 because it told me Miriam has $24.50 less than Anna. So if that's Miriam, then Anna would have that. And then you say to yourself, okay, if that's what I'm doing to get to $34.50, then let me take away these numbers that don't matter and put in, remember this 10, that was just the number I made up for how much Miriam had. Let me put in the number that represents Miriam, which is M. And that's how I get my algebraic expression here. I've written M plus $24.50 down here, $24.50 plus M up here. They're the same thing. If you're adding two things, the order doesn't matter. Okay, I've got my expression for Anna, my expression for Miriam. What's the piece of information that's in this problem that I haven't used yet? And also think, what are two things that are the same as each other that I can put on either side of this equal sign? It says together they have $50. I haven't used that yet, right? There's no 50 showing up anywhere here. So if together they have 50, then that means I can put $50 on the left side, and I can put what they have together, 50 on the right side, and what they have together on the left side. How do I write what they have together? Well, this is how much Miriam has, this is how much Anna has, and what they have together is just those two numbers added together. And now I have my equation, just like that. Together they have $50. Let me clear this out of the way. And if I get this equation wrong, or if I get these expressions wrong, I shouldn't worry too much. I shouldn't freeze up, because at the end I'm going to check and make sure my answer makes sense. So if I freeze up and I say, wow, this is not going anywhere, better plow ahead with something you think, well, maybe this works, let me see. If it does work, the answer you get when you plug it back in, you check, it'll tell you that it's right? So move on ahead with what you've got. All right, I want to solve these here. First thing I do from this line here is I'm going to get rid of these brackets. M plus 24.50 giving me a total of 50. Then I get my like terms together. I've got 2M, and then the 24.50 is still like that. I say to myself, now I'm going to get M all alone. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to subtract 24.50 from both sides. That leaves just 2M. And over here I have 50 minus 24.50, which gives me 25.50. So if 2m equals 2550, let me divide both sides by 2, which leaves me m all alone over here, which is what I wanted. And over on this side I have, this would be 1275 on the right. So I've done all the solving of this equation from step 3. I got m is 1275. I say to myself, what does that mean? Well, this is $12.75. I've got to make sure to include my units in my final answer. This is $12.75. If that's how much Miriam has, then I'd add $24.50 to that to find out how much Anna has. So that would mean that Anna has $37.25. $37.25. I just got that by doing $12.75 plus $24.50 to get that Anna has $37.25. Just writing that there so we can keep track. Now, if this is right, then when these numbers are added together, I should get $50. This plus this does give me $50. That tells me I have the right answer. So my final answer's got to be in a sentence. How much do they each have? Miriam has $12.75 using my units, and her good friend Anna has $37.25. And that is how you solve that one.